Ravens Wrap is brought to you by Bud Light, FlyLady.net, Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Ravens247.com, the original Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
Welcome back in. It is the Ravens Wrap Show here on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio 93.5 The Beach. The Ravens lose 34-14. We got to get the spirit up a little bit, so I donned the Christmas hat here. You know, we're just trying to get some positive vibes. We got to flush this through the system. We're
4
doing that.
years in a row to the playoffs.
4 years in a row to the playoffs. It's a good thing. We've got post.
You know who you look like with that on?
What's that? Who do I look? Who do I look like?
You look like Hermie on Rudolph.
Well, I got the ears for it, right? Yep.
Hermie doesn't like to make toys.
It's not my expertise. I'm not a carpenter by trade. More of a service guy.
He's a dentist. Come on.
Oh, I don't know. It's been a while since I've got the little figurines though and all that. So anyway, but we're trying to flush this through the system.
Get it out.
Get it out. We got the Browns coming up, but we'll talk about it. I don't think that's going to take an entire segment with that. I will say this though, guys. The one thing that gets me with the Ravens this season, and obviously all these losses have been on the road, is that, you know, it's one thing to lose and have given your best effort and the other team's just better that day. But I don't think in any of the losses, Ravens fans or players or coaches can say that's the best effort that we could give that day, and I'm okay with that. In a certain way, I'm okay with that loss. We haven't been able to say that, and I think that's something that's really disheartening. Is that's not the Ravens' best defensive performance. That's not the Ravens' best offensive performance. But man, when we lose, boy, do we ever go on the tank, and that's tough to swallow.
Can I throw this out? Is it could be the fact that 22 new players and maybe a lot of young guys that they just don't get it? They don't get the magnitude of things, and I know it wasn't young players that didn't play well. It was kind of everybody, especially this last loss. But some of those other ones, you know, again, Monday night against Jacksonville, not getting a first down until midway through the third period. I mean, it looks like that the team overall, and you know, if we knew the answer, we all wouldn't be sitting here. We'd all be making a lot of money.
I'm not a psychologist,
right?
As John Harbaugh would say.
I mean, I look at it and just go, wow, I can't figure it out.
You know, we played a lot of bad teams, and truthfully, the defense really hasn't been tested a whole lot this season. So, I mean, this was going to be, a big test. So, some games we're just going to look. The defense played poorly, but the offense gave us no chance to win the game. No chance. And when the plays were on the field, Joe didn't make them. And Ray Rice didn't touch the ball enough. I mean, 20 yards or whatever it was on the first play, we get -2, and then we throw the ball 5 straight times, miss a field goal.
And then these corners that have been running or covering fly 9 routes the entire game are back out there on the field doing the same thing over again.
Yeah.
With a thin backfield.
Although that all said, and maybe I've got to break it down more, that said, San Diego only had 4 more plays than we did.
But I mean,
But that's because they're throwing the ball all over the place.
Well,
We got 12 yards of play. I mean,
But I'm saying it's not as if there was such a discrepancy
there
that
are only
it's
so many plays when
that
you
it's
get 12
60
yards
to
of
30.
Tony, what's the stat, or just approximately what's the stat, going from 20 yards, doing 80 yards, and scoring a touchdown, not a field goal? Isn't it like 17 or 18% of the time you're going to do that? Taking the ball 80 yards, in other words, getting the ball on your 20 and taking it back.
Yeah.
They had an 80 and 80 and a 74-yard drive, all for
And
7.
in the fourth quarter, they
All
got the
for
ball-
7.
And on the fourth quarter, more importantly,
10
they
and a
got
half
the ball on
minutes.
the one. They had the ball 9 minutes, something like that.
No, the fourth quarter had the ball over 10
The one drive was 8.5.
Well, they tanked it by then. I mean, they threw out the white flag. I mean, if Harbaugh could have thrown in a towel, he probably would have.
Well,
Although I doubt that with him because he's still got his starting unit on the field when it's 34-7.
Yeah.
Well, you know, right then he's texting brother, Jimmy, I need you, baby. I need you, baby.
He didn't have to text him for Jim Harbaugh to know that. But to your point, though, even though the plays were somewhat even, John and Tony, the time of possession, San Diego did control time of possession for almost 9 more minutes. So, that plays into the tire.
There's only so many plays. When you're getting 20 yards a clip, you don't need a whole lot of plays to score a touchdown. So, and that's,
Well, I know these guys, Bruce, I want to ask Bruce this too, because I know these players are in such routines by this time of the season. I mean, they've got everything timed out. Their charter flight is delayed, going out to San Diego, disruption of the flow. It's the 15th game of the season, or the 14th game of the season. and you're going to the West Coast as a player, how does that affect you, or is that overplayed by the media?
It is totally overplayed by the media if you're not a professional and you don't understand that you're going to go out there and you realize you're going to practice and then you got to go to dinner. You've got to be able to mentally go through that grind and continue the thought process, I have a game to play. And then again, it's a night game. So you sit around. And I told the story on the air. I was in San Diego at home. My roommate left. It was a Monday night game. My roommate left early. I took another nap because I was just hanging around. I had to have the police escort me to the venue, to Jack Murphy Stadium, to get in an hour and a half before, because I ended up sleeping again. So you've got to, as a player, fight through all that bull crap, because that's what it is.
Final quick word.
But I mean, here's the deal. You're sitting on a plane. You're doing your iPad stuff.
You're jacking around.
What do you do? It's like sitting on a couch. How about the guys, the high school kids, that sit on a bus for 2 hours and have to hop off and do jumping jacks and go play? I mean, this is a joke. You know, professional athletes making millions sitting on a plane doing iPads and playing games.
Well, we got our answer. More of the Ravens Drive show coming up.
G&G Outfitters, Inc. is a premier full-service in-house provider of branded merchandise and marketing solutions. With over 20 years of proven experience, G&G continues to successfully produce branded merchandise for some of the world's leading corporations, associations, and teams. From start to finish, G&G Outfitters is your single-source, one-stop partner for promotional products, logoed apparel, and all of your branded needs. For more info on the services and capabilities of G&G, visit ggoutfitters.com or call 301-731-2282.
Welcome to the Comfort Inn Gold Coast. Conveniently located just 1 block from the beach and adjacent to shopping at the Gold Coast Mall and the movie theater. Newly renovated and open year-round with a marvelous bayfront view. Visit us on the web at comfortgoldcoast.com and see our hot deals and great golf packages, or simply call our direct reservation line to plan your stay.
What's this all about?
I'm giving Rich the NFL experience of a goal line dive.
Really?
There's an easier way to get an ultimate NFL fan experience. Just snap the tag wherever Bud Light is sold and you can win. Bud Light in the NFL. Here we go.
Can I make it?
On the internet, yes. Into the end zone, no.
Are you embarrassed to invite people to your home to watch your favorite football team? Well, don't worry, because you're not alone. FlyLady.net is the support you need. Join us and our more than 600,000 members and learn how to crush the clutter and game plan your way through routines that'll help you organize your home and your life. Tackle clutter and get your home game day ready with FlyLady.net.
Ravens Drive show here from the Blue Ox, 127th Street and Coastal Highway at Ocean City on Comcast Beach TV at Delmarva's Rock Radio 93.5 The Beach. Want to thank our sponsors, the Original Green Turtle, the Blue Ox, Bud Light, FlyLady.net, the Ocean City Golf Club, G&G Outfitters, the Comfort Inn Gold Coast, JCTickets.net. Did I mention Ravens247.com?
You can do it again if you
All
like.
right, Ravens247.com. So, Mike Bradley, of course, we've got Bruce Laird, Tony Lombardi, and John Gehrig here. And guys, you know, we've spent 7 segments talking about the game against the Chargers. I think it definitely warranted that. But moving along here, that's out. We have to look forward. The good news is, again, the Ravens in the playoffs for a 4th straight year, and Pittsburgh lost. So back AFC North.
The only team that's done that 4 years in a row, the Eagles could do it, but really the Ravens are the only team that
right,
has
because the Colts were another team,
consecutive-
and they're not
right,
going. Right,
that's right.
Right, so it's good stuff.
New England never did it 4 years in a row.
No.
They always had a break. So that's
There was one year, I guess the Castle year, they didn't make it. They went 10-6, but they didn't make it that year.
Okay.
So yeah. So I mean, that's quite an accomplishment for the Ravens. And hey, you get in, you give yourself a chance, as we always talk about. But there's still a very good chance that you get a bye and at least one game at home in the playoffs. But you know, Cleveland, we got to take care of them, guys. Since we last faced them, we pretty much took care of business a couple of weeks ago, December the 4th, 24-10. We ran the ball all over them. They lost to Pittsburgh on that Thursday night game, 14-3, and we talked about it last week. They had opportunities to
They
win
had
that
them
game. You look at the numbers in that game, very even, and Cleveland could have upset them. They always play Pittsburgh really well at home. And
It always
Thursday
helps
night
when you send your
games, too.
quarterback out on the field and he's seeing pink flying elephants around his head. And
Well,
he's going to beat the Steelers.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Cleveland not doing the concussion check on that
Sure.
with Colt McCoy. Also, then they lose to Arizona on Sunday in overtime, 20-17 in that game. Where they played fairly well. Seneca Wallace has been filling in for Colt McCoy, or he did in that game. I mean, he at least knows the offense. He's been around. I don't know that a whole lot's changed, though, obviously, in 2 weeks. I mean, we know about them. They have very little wide receiver. Greg Little is, high risk, high reward type of guy. A lot of drops. The team as a whole, a lot of drops. Peyton Hillis, Chris Ogabanaya and Montario Hardesty running back by committee. But again, I mean, they've got a pretty good run offensive line. They can run the football. But, again, it's a game where the Ravens do what they do and do what they do best. It shouldn't be a contest.
I think it's all about, in this instance, it's all about Dick Duran and what he says to this Cleveland front. I believe instead of trying to get and stay in that 4-3, he gets somehow in a 5- and 6-man front and just says, you know what, Joe and your people, you're going to have to beat me because I'm not going to let you run the football. And I'm not talking about getting into these strong safety blitz and doing all. I'm saying just jump it down in there somewhere, and then 8 or 9 seconds before snap time comes, get in there and hunker down and say, if you want to beat me, you're going to throw the football because I'm not going to let you run. And he hasn't done it. The first time we played him, I was looking for it, and I love Dickey. He's got to do it because that's the only way they win the football game.
Well, I think in that last game where Ray Rice, what did he have, Mike, 206 yards?
I believe that's correct, yeah.
So he runs for 206 yards. A lot of those were in the zone stretch blocking. He was patient enough this time to wait it out and cut off the backside. And I think it's where he's got a lot of his yards. You can expect Cleveland to adjust to that for sure. But the thing with Cleveland is that they don't have any offense. They have no offense. They can't get a lead. They can't make the Ravens one-dimensional. So the Ravens are going to dictate the flow because this team just isn't good enough. They're not an explosive team like the Chargers to change the way the Ravens approach their offense.
Yeah, this is next week. We'll have a different tone because the Ravens will dominate at home. And what you're saying earlier, Mike, is point well taken. If the Ravens play their games at home in the playoffs, we're unbeatable.
Yeah,
I mean, we're a completely different team. So that's huge that we can get some home playoff games, or hopefully doesn't look like we'll be number 1 seed, but hopefully a loss. You never know what'll happen.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
We'll dominate Cleveland. I think we'll run all over them no matter what they do. I think Joe is good enough to, if they're going to stack the box and try to take the run, I think Joe, we have the weapons to throw over top of that. So this is a easy one. Are we doing predictions right now? Because I don't want to be late. I don't want to be getting cut off.
No, you're good. You're good. I think we still have about 90 seconds to go.
Give them all.
I'm banking my time for next week.
We're going to be talking about Joe and Ray Rice next week again. I'm telling
Go
you.
ahead. Give your prediction and real quick what you'd like to see Sunday.
I'd like to see Ray Rice stay in the game and go for 300 yards rushing. But I think 27-10.
Tony?
What I'd like to see is that they get Lee Evans involved in the mix and get some completions to him, because I think that'll be important down the stretch and going into the playoffs. I'm going to say this is going to be a Merry Christmas for Ravens fans. It's going to be the Grinch delivers the stink, stank, stunk from the Cleveland Browns, and I'm going to say 31-10 Browns. Ravens.
Wow, 30 seconds.
I'm going to go with my partner from 24/7. I'm going to say there's 28-10.
28-10.
But he didn't say 28-10.
That's you?
No.
He said 27-10.
Well, that's right. That's why I'm close to you, John.
All right, I'm being very conservative this year. I'm going to go with the Ravens 33-6, and I'd like to see Billy Cundiff hit some field goals in this one. That's what I'd like to see. Hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We'll be back next week.
Christmas,
It's the Ravens Wrap Show, Comcast Beat TV, and ho, ho, ho!
Ravens Wrap is brought to you by Bud Light, FlyLady.net, Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Ravens247.com, the original Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.